So, Lambert, congratulations. This is a
Thank
big
you.
achievement for you, for Vanuatu football, and for the Oceanic Football Confederation. How proud did you feel when your peers were unanimous in selecting you to lead OFC for the next 4 years?
It was a little bit, at the beginning it was hard, as I said, but I was happy that all of them gave me the trust and confidence for me to lead this or OFC for the next 4 years, and I trust myself, and I'm now excited to work. I think the battle of politics is over. And one thing that I don't like, to see in OFC is concentrating not too many times on politics, and we don't do enough for the development, and especially less one, I say, the competition in the region, and especially the level, and also the level of the competition in each association. So this is the main concern and the main issue that I want to address, that we need to redirect in a whole development program to raise the standard of competition in Oceania.
Yeah, so you have, I guess, 4 key points that you campaigned on. Can you tell us what those 4 points were?
Yes. The first one is like when I came back from my election in Russia, and the first thing I came and I wanted to check after the election, what next? So that was, at the time, the priority was different. But at the same time, I want to see that if we solve the problem, of the governance and the crisis we had last year, after that, what next? But I said I have to check the department that is, relating to football. There was the department of technical departments, and when I came and I see the technical director Patrick and Giovanni, and they have already planned for next 2026 program. So that's when I was delighted to see that they give me the courage. So I say, okay, can we review that and we plan for it? If it happens that I'll come back after the election, when we solve our problem, and then when I come back, I will, I know that something is in place already so that we can carry on. This is why the first priority for me is the Vision 2026. What is the Vision 2026? Is to do all things that is possible, create a pathway towards that, and program that align to that, and make it like rigorously, put everything that targeting 2026 would be at the highest if we could qualify 2 teams from Oceania direct. Not like, even if we have to go we have only 1.5 spot. So I want that the half spot, we have to win it all as well, to prove to FIFA, to prove to the rest of the world that we can earn 2 direct spots, like I said to the president in my speech. We have to convince them by producing good football and qualify on the field rather than go negotiating for us. So this is what I feel that winning 2 sport direct is the bargaining power for us to get 2 direct sport for senior team especially. We have already 2 from the other categories, not women yet, but for the under 20, under 17. But the one that we want to really get is the senior one, is to have 2 direct. This is why I put it as the first priority. You qualify and you get the negotiating power to win the next 2 direct. So yes. So I think this is my first priority. The second one is the level of competition so far. Last 10 years or 11 years I've been with OFC. I'm not satisfied with it. Why I'm not satisfied with it? Because I have seen that it seems to me that we have invested in the wrong place. It seems that we do program some of the program was not really necessary for us, like doing too many, like concentrating, for example, too many infrastructure in New Zealand is a waste of money. You invest a lot here, and not small money, they're very big money, but you forget those people who supposed to help giving credibility for football of Oceania, and it is the 11 association. This is why I come here. My second priority is, if I can, I redirect the whole investment program to all associations. It's like, maybe if you say political words, decentralization has to come out. Decentralization is the number one thing. You have to reconcentrate the funding, so you need proper facilities, you need funding assistance, and you need the knowledge. You have to buy in the knowledge from outside, not from inside, because all the local coaches who are developing football now right now in the islands, they have a very limited knowledge. But if you don't invest in these people, like the building capacity, give them the right tool, right equipment, right knowledge, you can't expect, the result you want. Our priority is to, the word accompaniment. Accompany. You have to, you accompany with everything, including professional expertise. Like, for example, now what I've seen in the plan that the technical department is putting in place, education center, but there was no national coach. It was only education center. But I think the missing component for me, if you create an educational center, you have good people there, you develop, but you don't complement with a national coach doing practical reality performance in the field, you can still have the development, the result you want. So that is why I'm taking the lead in Vanuatu to put two experts one in the field of play and one in the development program. So this is why you need a professional coach to check your performance on the field, what you're training, yeah. And then you have the same time capacity building and training in the academies. These two has to complement each other. So this is I think the key element at the moment is to have a professional coach at the academy, develop the elite, the caliber you want to perform in the field, and at the same time you have a focus-oriented approach coach so that he can perform to get the result you want. And this is how it has to work. These two has to go parallel. You train them, professional to be in the academy to help the local developer, and as national coach also to help the local coaches that can deliver. And you build both on the field and in the academies. So this is why these two has to go together. That's why I said OFC has to reorient the whole program and funding and then support it with these two coaches at 100%. Only then you can expect to get these two sports in 2026. Otherwise, there will be, if we focus only on development, we don't check us and performing in the field. There is still something missing, and that's why you need to create a highly competitive competition so that you can measure your development. You can measure your development year by year, game by game. And then you have professional with you to adjust towards the goal where you want to go. So this is how I see things. And this is why I put competition is number one, but not ordinary competitions, not fundraising competitions, not entertaining competitions. No, a competition that is of high level and that has quality. Not only that you want to win the 2026 qualifier, but also to attract sponsors partners, and we have like, you know, a kind of like a league that's very attractive in Oceania. That is same like in other confederation, UEFA, CONMEBOL, yeah, Libertadores, and all this kind of things. So this is where I'm dreaming. This is my ambition. I want to reach that place. And you know what I'm planning today with Patrick and Giovanni. I have already talked to Chris, competition manager, that I'm planning to call every president, my vice presidents, and technical people with partners and to come to Vanuatu in the next month. Maybe before next two months, I want to call them to review the competition in Oceania, to see how we can build to create like an outlet of the elites that we want to prepare, so they know when they are prepared, they know they can play higher competition where they can be recognized, and that's where. Or, you know, people outside, they can look where the competition and they can. That's where you can market your elite players in this kind of competition. Until you do that, you can. It's hard, you know, because people have to see you that you play good football. You cannot go negotiate. No, you have to prove it in the field. But you can only prove that in the field in a very high competition. So this is my priority, and I want to call them as soon as possible, so that we can review the OFC Champions League. We can turn it in like, you know, for example, we can turn it into like a professional league. Already, like we go towards that. So I have talked already with my presidents, and they really look forward to that. So we want to create something different. We want to create something that address the elite players, and you cannot send your players to go overseas without being, play in one kind of environment like that before they go out. So you have to create an avenue where club outside, they can find, and then you can send them outside. This is what I want. Both in level of like Nations League Championship or OFC Club Championship. These two has to be addressed. So we have to review how can we improve it. And then also we will do a regulation that can, if we need, there is need to change, we need to change. Another thing that I want to mention about this OFC League, OFC Championship is the players. I have seen the last 3 years when we changed the policy of this restriction. Foreign players, people coming outside of Oceania, you can put restriction on it. But for me, I feel that it is too early to restrict players in Oceania too much with 3. This is no. I think it's not. We do not open enough opportunity for them to expose before they can bring additional, to their own countries. You restrict. If you have only 3 players outside, then what can they bring back to their country? Or how many players they can you give them opportunity, they go and get experience, exposure, and they come back to help the countries.
You mean like when you play against, say you include some additional foreign players, you play with people of higher quality and against people of higher quality, yes, which will help you develop?
Yes. So no, what I mean is give the opportunity. For example, you give all league, you only allowed to get 3 players, say one from Vanuatu, one from Solomon, and then that's it. So the club, they don't have enough, and that's why the level of competition is not high, and you don't give opportunity enough to our own elite players, so that they have, when they come to all league, then there is enough room for them to join any team, so that they can perform. We are limiting them. You see, You keep good example, like Brian, he's been with
Auckland.
Auckland City. They have to drop him because they are only allowed 3 players from
This one, yeah.
from Oceania. So it means one, because when you get to higher level of competition, your like lifespan of an elite player is very short. When you lose 1 year, it's already 1 year. So, and when you get to 30 years old, you start your capacity start to decline. So you need when they're young, 20 to 30 years, you have to give them enough room, opportunity, so that they maximize the potential before they get 30 years and they start they start the curving down, so this is why I see if you don't address that, it will continue to affect out the competition. So you'll see the last result. We can't do that, no. They need to have some more, if they have to get some more players where it's good for, like Oceania. Does FIFA or UEFA, they don't mind about who is playing the team, but they want to see the result. And it is the result on the field that counts for us. You have to bring that up. And another thing, in the competitions, I said, there is a big gap between New Zealand and island nations. And then after that, you have big gap between the second category, like second group is Vanuatu, Solomon, PNG, between that gap and the smaller countries. So this one is, it is our responsibility to help to bring everyone up so that we have a very competitive competitions. And this is why I ask the Department of Competition start working now to how we can help that. Yes.
Yeah. And so the third is the third principle that you wanted to look at was to continue to uphold the reforms and continue to improve the governance?
Yes, but the governance, we've been all along we've been suffering from this, I don't, because it becomes a number, a third priority. It doesn't mean that no, I don't, but because we already put the framework in place to control everything, to minimize, the risk to go back to the same situations. I believe that's why, but we have to uphold it, and we have to strengthen it, and we have to continue with to show FIFA and the rest of the world that we are committed to good governance, transparency. We want to, so we have to be both performant on the field, and also outside the field. That means in the administration also to be professional and credible. Yes.
You've been involved in OFC for 11 years. Has it been quite disappointing for you as the president of an MA to see so much turmoil and so much of this crisis happening for OFC for the last 2 consecutive presidencies?
Yeah, no, it's very disappointing. Because you know where I come from. I start from the village to province to city, and I know the feeling about football, and I know the situation of football. When you start to give your heart to develop football voluntarily, you don't get any money. You spend investing time and energy freely like that, and when you come to the state like that, and you see things like that, is not very. So I'm very disappointed because I expect something different. I expect my intention to come to OFC is like, how can OFC help this association to come up? Like, for example, for me, I take Vanuatu like a Boncalos, for example. He start from the grassroots up, and he reached a top that his dream has come true. How do you help kids like that? They want to play football. They want to have their dreams. Like they play very good competitive competition instead of every time there is no computer, or there is not enough money and then we don't find a pathway for them to, to reach the highest, the place where they want to go. So it is really disappointing, every time OFC, where we want to get our help, we don't get the help that we want. As a president of
and I guess because you've been through the phase from the grassroots voluntary through each level, you can see how much just a small amount of money can make a difference in a country.
Yeah. I mean, when you compare that, like, practically in an association, that join the federation, they don't have any help at all from some association. Maybe they have some around maybe $3,000 or just like a prize money for $1,000, 500. But that's, you see that even they see that price like that is low. For them, it's like a big thing. This is something that they push them to like football. But when you compare with the money that we wasted on crisis, it hurts you. It hurts you. This is why yesterday I had to come out to tell that we cannot continue with such situation. And you already, the staff, they suffer here. But when you are at the end of the line, you know that you suffer more when you don't see competitions or the money that you expect that should come to you to boost the football development competitions. You don't even get an incentive at all for what you spend for, like the clubs, the leagues. They don't benefit from. And we here, we invest on something that, like they don't benefit from it. Instead of like they expect something that maybe will be beneficial to them, become crisis again. So how do you feel about this? I mean, it's painful. For me, really painful to continue to see things happening like that. This is why I said enough is enough. We have to stop that. We have to, think of this. Those who love football out there in the field, every day they have to go to training. They have to go. They get a bus, go for training. They play on Saturday, Sunday, and when they call them to go for all league, they have to raise fund on their own. While we continue the money here to pay this legal fee you pay for, if the investment, that the money should not go there. It should go to those people. And then you ask, why the result is not good in the field of play? Why? Why someone has to get like 13-0? Why? 14-0? Because the money is not invested in the right place. You cannot expect them, to bridge that gap. You have to help them.
So you feel confident now that with the reforms and with the confidence in your leadership that we will definitely see change at OFC?
I promised myself already. I pledged myself to that commitment that I want to see change. I said, if I live here, I want to see change. If not, there is no point for me to come and, because I want to make change. I don't come here just to sit in the office. No. It's like I said in Russia already. I don't take this responsibility as a privilege. I take it as a responsibility to change football in Oceania. That's what I came from. And I asked, I said, if you, my colleague president, give me a chance, I'm sure that I will lead us to change football in Oceania.
And you have two very good people joining you on the FIFA Council, Johanna Wood and Rajesh Patel. Are you looking forward to working with them on the council?
It's not only two of them. No, there are three vice presidents that I asked the OFC, I want these three vice presidents. So you have Rajesh, you have Joanna, and you have Thierry from Tahiti, and you have Steve from New Caledonia, and you have John Capinato. These people have the same heart like me, you know. I don't want to work with people that they don't have heart in football. They have no passion. They have no, you know, they are not like craving for winning, craving to have football, no, raising the standard. I want this kind of people. And Rajesh is the same. And Joanna, of course, she is representing New Zealand. But her president support us for the same thing. This is why I bring New Zealand in. For a long time, we left New Zealand outside. You know, this is not fair. It's not good. And it was me who went to ask New Zealand to be on board. Come with us. We want, you know, the strong people drive the whole thing. We have to give a credibility, you know, to the world, you know, to FIFA, to the rest of the world. We have to prove them that even though we are small, we are not small in football. We are not small in passion, the love of football. No, we are more than crazy than any other country. That's what I feel. No, I mean, like, I come from this environment. That's why I know. For us, Vanuatu is very small, 270,000 people. But it's our religion, it's football. Solomon is the same. It's like a religion, you know. If you make mistake, they'll kill you. Yes. And it is why you have to have these people on board so that they know what they know what is expected out there. You know? Yeah. And us, President, OFC, has to look back to them, not like, you know, they are driving. No, they have to look back. They drive, you know, they set direction that is correct, that answering their needs, instead of, you know, like answering our own need here. No, we are not here for that. We are here to serve those people, to set the player, and bring them, you know, bring them what they want.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So the last priority is the home of football. We know that the size of the project has been reduced, but are you still confident that we can get this completed, this project?
Yes, no, I'm happy. Now I'm happy that we have reduced it to this size that we want, and also the money that we were looking to complete it. But you know, we can't go back to like just leave it like that. At least, otherwise it's a failure for us, and it's not good. So I'm committed also to that, to complete it, even though FIFA, we almost used up the half of the money, but I'm lucky that with the administration of OFC, under Frank, we managed to convince UEFA to give the balance of the money to complete the project. This is why you see the presence of Pascal Torres to make sure that you know, we're doing the right thing, right decisions, so they continue to help us. And UEFA is very happy to continue to help us. But they want, like, what has happened on the election, it is exactly what they were expecting, and they're really happy for. So this is why they continue to complete the project, and they will continue to support us for other things like competitions, and they will continue on that. So we have already their assurance. So this is why I'm happy to continue to complete it. Yes.